What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Couple of moves in MLB free agency. The Mets traded Jeff McNeil, utility player, to the Athletics. Also sent $5.75 million to the A's. He's due $15.75 million this season. So the A's will pay the other $10 million. The Mets will also pay his $2 million buyout if the A's buy him out after the 2026 season. A's send a rookie ball pitcher, Yordan Rodriguez, in this trade. I wish the Mets got a little bit more for Jeff McNeil, though I understand why he was moved. You have a lot of infielders in Queens. It made sense to trade him. He is declining a little bit. He's going to be 34 years old. Let's continue their core shakeup, which haven't liked the way it's gone so far as a fan, but is what it is. Last year, McNeil hit 243, 12 homers, 54 RBIs, a 746 OPS. He's a solid second baseman, can play third as well as the outfield. Good pickup for the A's. Solid infielder with some decent back-to-ball skills. Obviously, won a batting championship in 2022. One of two Mets to win a batting championship. The other was Jose Reyes. I think that was in 2011 or 2012 or something. When he hit 326 in 2022. He was a two-time All-Star. And he heads to the A's. Mets get nothing back, and they're going to pay him almost $6 million to play for another team. I thought this was just unnecessary. Another terrible move by David Stearns. I understand you not wanting him on the roster. You could have gotten MLB caliber bullpen arm for Jeff McNeil. Uh, and also if you're gonna get back nothing, you don't eat money. You either tell the A's eat his whole contract and give us nothing back, or you take back something of value, but you eat 5 or 6 million. So just so stupid. Terrible asset management by David Stearns. Well surprised, Jeff McNeil. He's gone from Queens. He is now a member of the Athletics. None of that happened. Rob Refsnyder goes to Seattle on a one-year deal. Refsnyder came up with the Yankees back in 2015, played scarcely for the Yankees for a couple of years. He's bounced around MLB, but he's been in Boston the last 4 seasons and has played well in a part-time role. Last year in 70 games, hit 269 with 354 on base, 838 OPS, 9 homers, 30 RBIs. Can play all over the field. He can play mainly second base, but plays pretty much anywhere. Is a good hitter. Is especially good in a platoon against left-handers. He doesn't hit righty super well, but he absolutely mashes against left-handed pitching. He's an excellent platoon guy. I expect him to kind of play the role that Jorge Polanco did. He's a slightly different kind of player than Jorge Polanco. He's probably a little bit of a has some better bat to ball skills, but not nearly as much power. He is on age-wise, he is going to be 35, so he's actually like a year or two older than Jorge Polanco, and is a slightly better defender, a little bit more versatility. So he basically is going to play the role that Jorge Polanco played in Seattle for the Mariners. That's a good pickup for the Mariners. He'll be a very solid piece. I expect to play a good amount of second base for the Mariners. Maybe get some time at DH. He'll definitely hit against mostly left-handers for the Mariners. It's a good pickup for them on a one-year deal. Sean Newcomb signed with the White Sox a year for $4.5 million. Solid reliever. Came up a starter years ago with the Braves back in 2017. First couple of years, pitched well as a starter. Then got moved to the bullpen and was inconsistent for a while. Had some injuries, bounced around the league. And last year, started the year in with the A's, eventually got traded to the Red Sox. Was very good with the A's last year, won 5 ERA in 36 games. Got traded to Boston and wasn't great. 3.5 ERA in only 12 games. But overall, had a good year. 48 games, 2.73 ERA, 92 in the third innings. Also made 5 starts, so he's a guy that lefty. He can get lefties out and he can give you some length because he's been a starter for the first part of his career. So solid move for the White Sox, who are quietly doing some nice things. You have some young talent on that roster. You had Murakami, who could be a guy hitting 30, 40 plus home runs. Now you add Newcomb to your bullpen. All of a sudden, the White Sox, they're not going to be very good, but they're not going to be unwatchable. they're here in 75 games. They're trending in the right direction for sure. And the Pittsburgh Pirates make another move. They signed Ryan O'Hearn, 2 years, 29 million. O'Hearn last year between Baltimore and San Diego had a career year. Is a solid power hitting first baseman who will probably DH a bunch for Pittsburgh like he did in Baltimore and San Diego last year. Can play the corner outfield spots a little bit. Pirates again, they're another team that usually doesn't spend a lot of money. That still isn't, but they're doing some nice things. Making the trade to get Brandon Lau, power hitting second baseman, a guy who can give you 30 homers and 80 RBIs. Now you add a Ryan O'Hearn to the mix. He's a 20 homer guy that you add. So the Pirates adding some power to the lineup, but they probably realize we have a ton of pitching help, especially in that starting rotation. I just need a little bit of oomph in that lineup. They got a lot of guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark for what it's worth. O'Hearn, Lau, all new Cruz, no nothing else can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Brian Reynolds. Pirates are another team that could maybe see some slight improvement. Again, still won't be able to make a playoff, but could be finally trending in the right direction. It's a good move by the Pittsburgh Pirates. So let's talk basketball quickly. Just want to briefly remind everyone there is a really good slate of NBA Christmas games on Christmas Day. I'm not going to be doing a show tomorrow or Thursday because it is Christmas. I'm going to take 2 days off. So I just wanted to talk about the games that are happening. As usual, 5 games on Christmas. NBA on Christmas is really underrated. It's, to me, better than NFL on Christmas. I mean, it was definitely better than the NFL on Christmas. The NFL was trying to take that day over. It's not going to happen. The games are always terrible. They're going to be terrible again this year. Even NFL on Thanksgiving, I would take NBA on Christmas over that as well. But the first game at noon is Knicks and Cavs. Should be a good game. Two good teams in the Eastern Conference. They have 2:30 Spurs Thunder. Should be a fantastic game. Two of the best teams in the Western Conference. Thunder, of course, are the defending champs. A healthy Spurs team. And then at 5 o'clock, it is the Mavericks and Golden State Warriors. Golden State probably going to win. Dallas isn't very good, obviously, in the aftermath of the Luka trade. Derek Lively is hurt. Cooper Flag playing out position, though he is bowling out. Him against Steph will be a fun watch at least. Rockets Lakers should be a good game. Durant against LeBron James. Two old guys that I kind of can't stand, especially LeBron, but two of the better teams in the Western Conference. And at 10:30, Minnesota Timberwolves against the Denver Nuggets should also be a very good game. Anthony Edwards and Timberwolves against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. But moving on, first of all, I just want to announce that the Kansas City Chiefs are leaving Arrowhead Stadium when their lease ends on that stadium after the 2030 season. In 5 years' time, they will be playing in Kansas. This isn't going to change a whole lot. Missouri and Kansas are not far from each other. Everyone's like, oh, they're playing Kansas City. Kansas City is in Missouri. I know it's misleading, but Kansas City is in Missouri. They are going to be now playing in the state of Kansas. So technically they'll be the Kansas Chiefs, but I can't imagine they're going to change that much. Of all those be playing in a different stadium. I think it's going to, what I've heard, the stadium's probably going to be easier commute for Chiefs fans that live in the area, and they're going to be playing in a dome. Arrowhead obviously is outside. I know there's a couple of teams that are starting to do that. Of the NFL teams who have played outdoors for so long in these really cold games, which to me is honestly an advantage, are moving into a dome. Like the Bills in a couple of years are going to move into that really insane looking stadium. It's in a dome with like these like special technology to help with the snow. And when their fans shovel the snow, because it's the Bills, and two, those Bill fans are crazy. They're willing to do anything. And now the Chiefs are doing it. It's interesting. I think that would give you an advantage, depending on who you play. Like if the Chiefs play the Bills, all right, the snow in Buffalo is different. Uh, Let me tell you. But like if they play the Los Angeles Rams, the Rams are an elite team, but they automatically have an advantage, just because not only are you in front of your home fans, Arrowhead is a very tough place to play. Obviously, a historic, iconic stadium. Also, the Rams are used to playing their games in sunny California. Now it's freezing cold in Kansas City. It's cold out there. So I'm very surprised. But this has been kind of been going on for a year or two now. They've been trying to get that like at least extended. Weren't able to do it, and now the owner of Kansas City, the Hunt family decided enough's enough, and at least ends in 4 years or in 5 years, we are out of here. Monday Night Football, Niners and Colts. This was a very entertaining game, a lot of points scored, but Niners, of course, come out on top. 48-27, Brock Purdy, 25 of 34, 295 yards, 5 touchdowns, I think at 360 yards in total in the game. Christian McCaffrey runs for 117 yards, had a receiving touchdown. I think I had 2 receiving touchdowns in this game. Kittle, 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown.
Looks like a free play. Rivers, end zone. He's got his man. Pierce, touchdown Colts. End zone. Robinson for the touchdown. Salvo from the Colts. Amir Abdullah on the return. Not a lot of room. Ball's out. 49ers look like they're on it. And it's Tonjes, their tight end, who comes away.
And as Christian McCaffrey, his eyes are in the wrong spot. He's looking all over the field. Doesn't pick up McCaffrey at some action tonight.
3rd down and goal. To the end zone. Touchdown again. Alec Pierce. Good drive. 2nd down and 4. Purdy throws back across the field and has a touchdown. George Kittle. Purdy. Jennings with a catch. Touchdown 49ers. Keep them out. 2nd and goal. Taylor.
Franklin, and I think he's the one who blew coverage. He's got to continue to play that flat coverage.
Quick throw. Picked off the other way, D. Winters. And he is gone. This is a pick 6. And this game's going to belong to San Francisco.
In the first quarter, free play, you saw the edge rusher from the Niners jump there. Rivers takes advantage, throws a touchdown to Alec Pierce. It was 7-0 Colts. Then, next drive, Brock Purdy from about 22 yards out, throws a touchdown. I think it was to Jawan Jennings. No, that was DeMarcus Robinson, not Jawan Jennings, that tied the game. Very ensuing kickoff. Colts would fumble. That's an absolute killer. Reminds me of Xavier Gibson, when he was on the Jets literally every week for 3 years, basically. But Niners recover about the 25-yard line, picks up an easy touchdown. Brock Purdy would find Christian McCaffrey for a touchdown. Of course, the ultimate weapon in McCaffrey. Let's go up by a touchdown. But 2nd quarter, Phillip Rivers again. Unk still got it. Seriously. Finds Alec Pierce for the touchdown. Big throw from Rivers. 14-14. Still in the 2nd quarter. Purdy would roll to his right and zips one in there to George Kittle for a touchdown. Puts him up 21-14. 3rd quarter, 24-17 Niners. Purdy finds Jawan Jennings. Touchdown, 31-17 49ers. And later on, still the 4th quarter, Jonathan Taylor pounds it in. It's at 34-27. Pulls him back up on a touchdown, but then Purdy again to McCaffrey for a touchdown. It was at 41-27, 3.5 to go after a terrible pick by Brock Purdy. Niners the pick 6 on, I think, the very next play, actually. That would seal it. Niners win 48-27. They had improved to 11-4. They had already clinched a playoff spot going into the game. Colts fall to 8-7 on the season. Their playoff chances are next to 0. Let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFL with 2 weeks to go. In the AFC, Denver Broncos have clinched a playoff spot. They are 12-3. Right now are the 1 seed in the AFC. 2 seeds New England Patriots, also 12-3. They are right now are the 2 seed already clinched a playoff spot. 3 seeds the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are 11-4, been playing really well. 6 straight wins for them. They've clinched a spot already. 4 is Pittsburgh Steelers. They're at 9-6. They need a win or a Ravens loss to clinch the AFC North. Remember, they play the Ravens in Week 18, so that game may or may not matter. Chargers already clinched a playoff spot, 2nd in a row for them. They're 11-4. They're only a game on the 1 seed. It's wild. Bills are 11-4. They already have a playoff seed locked up. They will now have a 2nd wild card. Both teams are a game out of their divisions and the 1st seed in the AFC. Texans right now are the last team in at 10-5. They know the winner of Colts lost in the last 2 weeks to clinch a postseason spot. Of course, only a game out of the AFC South as well. Indianapolis is 8-7. Like I said, they need to win out and technically to lose out for them to get in. And the Ravens at 7-8. need to win out, and Pittsburgh needs to lose out in order for them to steal the North from the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the NFC, we have the Seattle Seahawks right now are the 1 seed. They're 12-3. 2 seeds the Bears. They're 11-4. They clinch a playoff spot. Of course, they had a big win with the Packers on Saturday night. Eagles are the 3 seed. They are at 10-5. They have clinched the NFC East. The defending champions. 4th seed right now is the Carolina Panthers at 8-7. Need a win and the Tampa loss to clinch the NFC South this week. If not, it comes down to week 18 once again against Tampa. First wild card is San Francisco. They're at 11-4. They've a playoff spot locked up. Rams right now have a second wild card at 11-4 as well. They have a playoff spot locked up. And the Packers right now are the last team in. They're at 9-5-1. Lions are at 8-7. They're hanging by a thread. Packers will need to lose out and Detroit need to win out in order for Detroit to upend the Green Bay Packers and steal the last playoff spot in the NFC. With that, just want to announce that the Pittsburgh Steelers top receiver DK Metcalf has been suspended 2 games. If you don't know why, this is why.
Had mixing it up with someone in the stands.
Like, I don't understand why he would do that. Like, apparently Metcalf said he said something not so nice. The fan denied it. There is no time that a athlete should be punching a fan. If the fan runs onto the field and tries to attack a player, that's different. But that's not what happened. The guy was just leaning over, maybe was talking some smack. It's one thing if you say something back, like verbally, as long as nothing over the line, fine. Who cares? You know, if you can give it, you gotta be able to take it as a fan. But you cannot put your hands on the fan. If I was a fan, I would sue him, get as much money as you can out of that bum. DK Metcalf is an overrated player, and there's something wrong with him. He's meant to be unstable. He's been doing this for years. King of Steelers traded by George Pickens for nothing because of his anger issues and off-the-field stuff. And then went out and traded a second-round pick for DK Metcalf and gave him $30 million a year just for him to be even worse than George Pickens. That's absolutely nuts. Just nuts behavior from DK Metcalf. Now, he's suspended the last 2 games of the season. And that's the rest of the regular season for DK Metcalf. But with that, let's go to my NFL power rankings. We'll start at 32 heading into week 17. 32nd, I still have the Las Vegas Raiders. They are utterly terrible. They are 2-13. They are utterly atrocious. Had a competitive game against Houston, but rest of the year they've been grossly uncompetitive. Just Gio's has been absolutely terrible. Pete Carroll's got to go. There's a lot of pressure now on Tom Brady, who of course is a part owner over there to fix this mess. They are utterly, utterly horrible. At 31st, it's the New York Jets. I have them at 31st. They're starting Brady Cook, who's absolutely atrocious. They can't get anything going offensively. Without Garrett Wilson, their passing game is non-existent. Their defense isn't very good either. The firing of Steve Wilks did basically nothing. I don't hate Chris Harris, the interim coordinator, but it did nothing. Aaron Wills, a terrible coach. Just over Jets, they are 3-12. Raiders right now have the second pick. Jeff right now have pick 4. 30th is the New York Giants. Right now, I have the first pick in the draft. They are 2-13. They're very bad. Jackson Dart should not play these last 2 games. He looked really bad against the Vikings. Obviously, the coach has already been fired. The defensive corner has already been fired. The defense has been bad all year. The offensive line is not very good. They're down their star running back and their star receiver. There's nothing going right for the Giants. You just lost to Max Brosmer. They're horrible. 29th is the Cleveland Browns. They have the 3rd pick in the draft right now. Shedeur Sanders absolutely sucks. They have no offense whatsoever. The defense is very good. Myles Garrett's putting on the clinic. Over 20 sacks here for him. Trying to set the all-time sack record. But they're also horrible at 3-12. They're absolutely terrible. 28th is Tennessee Titans, who finally won a game this week. So kudos to them for actually winning a game. They're at now 3-12 on here. They have the 5th pick in the draft right now. Had the first for a while. Right now they have the 5th pick in the draft. Keyboard has looked better in recent weeks. They looked a little better. Tony Pollard and Spears are playing much better. The defense has never been bad. The offense has just been really, really bad all year. They're 3-12. 27 is the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of fans are freaking out that they want Jonathan Gannon to fight. I'm hearing it's kind of a flip of a coin right now. Obviously, your starter Jacoby Brissett at quarterback with Kyler Murray hurt / they're just done with him. And the team isn't very good. Marvin Harrison has missed games this year, still has not become that superstar we all thought. But Michael Wilson has played very well. Trey McBride's great. They have no running game also. They're like their fifth string running back at this point. Bam Nicer, their waiting rusher, he's on injured reserve. Their defense isn't very good. And Brissett, like he's played okay. He's stat padded late in a lot of games, but he hasn't played bad. He's looked better than Kyler. Shows you how bad Kyler is. 26th is the Washington Commanders. Just a team ravaged by injuries. They're 4-11. It might be Josh Johnson starting for them against. I think it's the team he's on, right? Yeah, because Baltimore might be hurt on Christmas against Dallas, so that game doesn't matter either way. But they're just ravaged by injuries, obviously, this year. A lost year for them. 25th is the Saints. They moved up a bit in my power rankings from last week. They won 3 in a row all of a sudden. They're 5-10. Shuck has actually played some serviceable football. I know Kamara's been out and Devin Neal didn't play last week, but Devin Neal, that could be their running back of the future. He's played well in absence of Alvin Kamara when he's been healthy. Olave has had, to me, the best year of his career. That defense is actually playing a lot better. 24 was Miami Dolphins. They suck. They're 6-9. Quinn Ewers starting. 7th-round rookie. A-Chain's great. Jay Lyle's got obviously 2 big play threats, but other than that, there's nothing. Offensive line isn't very good. Their defense is also absolutely horrible. Can't believe they might be bringing back Mike McDaniel. That's a joke. That's their head coach. 23rd is the Atlanta Falcons. You win 2 games in a row. You still get against Tampa. You beat a terrible Arizona team. They're 6-9. You don't have a pick anyway. It's a disaster. They stay in a new regime coming in. But Kirk Cousins has looked pretty good. 22nd is Cincinnati Bengals. They're 5-10 now. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, but the guy just looks depressed out there. Chase is Chase. We know about the offense, but they just can't stop anybody. Offensive line isn't good. And they might bring back Zach Taylor, which is terrible. 21st is the Minnesota Vikings. They have played better. They've won 3 in a row. McCarthy, before he got hurt, was looking better against, who was it? It was Dallas, and then somebody else he played pretty well against. Did not look great against the Giants. Then he got hurt. He's not playing because he's having a hairline fracture on his hand. So he maxed Brosmer against Detroit this week. That's a Christmas game, I believe. But they're 7-8, but they're obviously not going to make the playoffs. Just obviously the quarterback problems have plagued him this year. 20th is the Baltimore Ravens, 7-8. John Harbaugh might get fired. Delton Payne was dominating the Patriots all night, and you take an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, and you don't use him the rest of the way. I don't understand. This is about like a Hall of Fame caliber running back who's still one of the elite backs in the game at 31 years old, even with his fumbling issues this year. That is a fireable offense. That is just horrible. I know Lamar's been playing hurt all year. We got to start talking about Lamar. Every year down the stretch, he either gets hurt or plays through an injury, and he's not as effective, gets to the playoffs and falls apart. We got to have to talk about that. It might be Tyler Huntley playing with their season on the line this week. 19th is Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, it's going to be Chris Oludokun against Denver on Christmas. They're 6-9. Obviously, a loss year for them. It's shockingly terrible season for the Chiefs. Now the news comes out that they're switching stadiums in 5 years. 18th for the Dallas Cowboys. Look, they can score a lot of points. Dax had a good year this year. Devontae Williams had a career year. CB Lamb and Pickens are a dangerous duo. But defensively, they're just absolutely terrible. And Jerry Jones is saying that the decision to make Eberflus will be an easy one. I'm assuming that means he's going to get fired. It's weird that Jerry Jones came out and said that. Well, not crazy. It's Jerry Jones. I expect it, but man, that's just a brutal defense, and he's got to get fired. 17th is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're in free fall. They've lost 6 of 7. Now, Baker's been struggling. I know they've had injuries, but right now Mike Evans is healthy. Chris Godwin's healthy. Bucky Irving is healthy. Topples has got to go. He's a terrible head coach. 16th is the Colts. Again, started off great. They started off 7-1. They have lost 6 of 7 games since then. They're starting a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. 5 was the last played. Though he's played well, though. So kudos to him. But right now, without Sauce, your defense is very, very limited. Jonathan Taylor has slowed down a lot after he was the MVP in the first half of the year. Denver hasn't played great. And Pratt is overused. So the offensive line is still suffering some injuries. Their playoff chances are now next to 0. 15th is Pittsburgh Steelers. Perfectly mediocre like they are every year. Rodgers is 42. He's playing for a guy who's 42, but obviously not what he was 5 years ago. The running game has been decent with Kenneth Gainwell. He had that great catch this past week, but No Metcalf the rest of the way in the regular season, and that defense isn't very good outside of TJ Watt. At 14 is the Detroit Lions. They're 8-7. Jared Goff, I'm starting to think is overrated. He cannot play in the cold weather. He folds in big spots. He's a good quarterback, but not a great one. But look, that offense has got a lot of talent. Obviously, Dan Campbell's a great coach, but the interior of the offensive line's been very bad this year. Their defense is terrible. Had a lot of key injuries, and the personnel just isn't good enough. It's just not. 13th is the Carolina Panthers. They're playing good football right now. They're very inconsistent. They're 8-7. Right now, they're in first place. Bryce is playing good right now. They can run the football. Rick Riddell's great. Tad had a great rookie year. That defense is very good. Dave Canales has them in a position to win that division this year. Personally, they've been in sole position the first since 2015, which is crazy. 12 is the Houston Texans. Been playing some great football. You're 10-5. Got the best defense in the NFL. Stroud hasn't been great, but the offensive line is very bad. Nico Collins, you're a true weapon. Can't really run the ball. You're on your third back. Who's playing with Jawar Jordan. Mixon hasn't played a snap this year. 11th is the Los Angeles Chargers. That's a good team. A lot of injuries, but kudos to Jim Harbaugh for keeping them competitive all the way through it. Herbert's had a good year overall. The offensive line is depleted with injuries, but got some good weapons. The defense is very good. Kudos to Jesse Minters, kept them playing well even with injuries. But at 10 is Green Bay Packers. They plummet with a tough loss to the Bears last week, and you have so many injuries. Micah Parsons obviously is out for the year. Jordan Love suffered a concussion. Malik Willis obviously played a lot of that game against the Bears last week. Now Josh Jacobs might be hurt. He's playing through an injury, and a lot of the receiving guys have played through injuries this year. It's just a mess in Green Bay with the injuries. But 9-5-1 should still make the playoffs. 9th is the Philadelphia Eagles. 10-5, great defense, but the offense right now is just being held back by some poor play calling and a very overrated quarterback, Jalen Hurts. 8th is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're a really good team, playing really well. Trevor Lawrence lately has been playing well. ETN's had a good year. Brian Thomas is playing better. Jacoby Myers has been great. Very underrated defense. Probably the best defense in the league against the run. Liam Cohen should be Coach of the Year candidate. At 7th is the Chicago Bears. Look, they're 11-4. I don't think Caleb is good, but he came up clutch against the Packers. That offense is very good. Swift and Montgomery are a great running back duo. Odunze is great. Though him and Burden didn't play last week. They got a ton of weapons. Offensive line is better. Defense is playing better now. They got Jamin Johnson and Kyler Gordon back. Ben Johnson should be the Coach of the Year. No debate. 6th is the San Francisco 49ers. They might be a true contender. They're playing some good football. Offense is on fire. They're finally healthy now. Brock Purdy's playing well. Defense is banged up. Not much of a pass rush, but they're great against the run. Not so good against the pass, but they can stop the run. Top 5. At 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. They're a very good team. Josh Allen is obviously incredible. One of the best quarterbacks in football. James Cook is a great back. Not a very good defense, but they can score a hell of a lot of points, and you got Josh Allen. At 4, I have the Denver Broncos. Tough loss this week, but you lost to a good team. Bo Nix played well, but made some mistakes. Arthur Harper's a good back. The defense is obviously incredible. 3rd, so the Patriots at 3. Big win over the Ravens. Come from behind. Drake May is very good. Made a couple of mistakes in that game, but came up big when it mattered. That throw to Kyle Williams was gorgeous. Trevor Harrison got hurt in that game, so that's something to look out for. Also, the line has suffered without Will Campbell. They should be coming back before the playoffs. That defense is very inconsistent. They were great against the run all year, but these last 2 games, they haven't looked right. Granted, they played 2 of the best backs in the league, and James Cook and Derrick Henry. The secondary outside of Gonzo is kind of weak. 2 is the Rams. Look, you lost 1 game by 1 point to the Seattle Seahawks, who I have the best team in football. Stafford's the MVP of the league to me. They got a ton of weapons. They got a good defense. McVay's the best coach in football. I don't care what anybody says. And the Seahawks were at 1. Coleman Cruz is the best team in the league. 12-3. Sam Darnold's played great. Great running with Walker and Charbonnet. JSN's the offensive player of the year. Shaheed's very good. He was a nice addition. Great defense. Top 5 defense in football, especially against the run. They can rush the passer. Mike McDonald's a great, very underrated head coach. The Seattle Seahawks are the number 1 team in the NFL right now. NFL game picks, week 17. Then I'm not going to show the next 2 days, so doing game picks and my power rankings today. So let's get into it. We got games on Christmas Day, which I don't love, but it's what's happening. Thursday is afternoon football. 1 o'clock, Cowboys and Commanders. I'm going to take Dallas. It might be Josh Johnson playing. Josh Johnson's famous for being a journeyman practice squad quarterback. Dallas is going to score a lot of points. They'll overpower the Commanders in this one. Game doesn't matter. Both teams are not going to be going to the playoffs. Lions and Vikings at 4:30. Both these games were on Netflix. Lions, Vikings. Give me Detroit. Max Brosmer is absolutely atrocious. Lions defense isn't very good, but it's a better matchup for them, obviously, with Brosmer being in there. Lions will win this game, and we'll hope for some luck to try and keep their chances alive. 8:15 on Amazon Prime. Typical Thursday Night Football. Broncos and Chiefs. I'm going to take Denver. They're by 13.5, which is a lot, but Crystal Lodekun's their quarterback. He's a third string. He obviously sucks. Denver will win this game. Saturday, we have two games. 4:30 on the NFL Network. It will be Texans and Chargers in a big game in the AFC. I'm going to take the Texans in a bit of an upset here. They're playing great football. That defense is ferocious. I think they'll get pressure on Herbert. He's going to take a lot of hits, miss one. In a lower scoring game, and the Texans pull it out. And then 8 o'clock on Peacock, Ravens and Packers. So the loser of this, the Ravens lose, they are officially out. Even if they do win, they might still be out. Packers, they lose, open the door for Detroit possibly to win next week and make the playoffs. But I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers. Not sure if Jordan Love is playing. Malik Willis has done a good job filling in for Love last year and this year when he's played. The Ravens are not playing good football right now. John Harbaugh might be on the hot seat. I think Green Bay at home takes care of business and eliminates the Green Bay the Baltimore Ravens from the postseason. Sunday, the 1 o'clock slate, Cardinals and Bengals. I'm going to take Cincy. Higher scoring game. If it's a shootout, Bengals have the advantage just because of Joe Burrow and the weapons. Give me the Bengals at home in a pretty meaningless game. Steelers, Browns. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. This feels like a bit of a trap game, but Pittsburgh wins a close one. They don't have Metcalf, but Shador Sanders is so bad. But either way, Pittsburgh is going to be going to the playoffs once again as AFC North champions. Saints, Titans, another tank bowl. I'm going to take the Saints. I think they're in their fourth in a row. Get to 6-10. Shuck's playing well. If they get a little healthier, that'll definitely help. Titans won last week, but they don't have... I think the Saints defense will actually give them a little bit more trouble than the Chiefs defense did. So actually, I'll take the Saints in a meaningless game. Jaguars, Colts. Big game in the AFC South. I'm going to take Jacksonville. Colts have had trouble against Jacksonville for years. They're playing really well. Trevor Lawrence is playing great. That Colts secondary without Saul, assuming he's still out, is really, really bad. The Colts run defense is very good. I think once again, full of Rivers and the Colts will have trouble running the ball. They'll put too much on Rivers, and Jackson will eliminate the Indianapolis Colts in the playoffs once again. Bucks, Dolphins. This one, I'm going to take the Bucks. Just don't have enough trust in Quinn Ewers and only a second ever start. Should be able to put up a lot of points. Give me Tampa. Win that game and keep their season alive. Patriots, Jets. Oh boy, this is going to be the ugly one. Patriots are going to win. It's going to be just miserable to watch. The first game wasn't great to watch. Jets lost 27-14. But this one's going to be even worse. Patriots here by 13.5. They're probably going to cover that, to be honest. Jets can't get anything going offensively. They're not very good defensively. They're just a god-awful football team. Patriots have not lost on the road this year. 7 on the road. So Patriots will destroy the Jets in this one. We got Seahawks and Panthers in the big game. I'm going to take Seattle. I think this will be a pretty close game, but I will take the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. They're playing great. Right now, they're the best team in the league. Carolina's inconsistent week to week. I will take the Seattle Seahawks. 405. Giants and Raiders in the ultimate tank bowl. These two teams have the top 2 picks in the draft. I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game. They looked better against the Houston Texans last week. Giants don't have a good defense. Their pass rush isn't great. Giants, both teams are pretty lifeless, but the Giants are really lifeless. I'm going to take the Raiders in a really disgusting game that if you watch this game, you should sue somebody in the NFL. 425, Eagles and Bills. Could easily be the game of the week. Eagles-Bills in Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills. They're playing really well. Josh Allen is, of course, incredible. Huey's offense has struggled for weeks now. The Bills do have a very good, bad defense. In a high-scoring game, the Bills squeak it out, which will be a fantastic game. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Bears and 49ers. I'm going to take the Niners. Bears right now might be missing a couple of weapons like they were last week. Niners are playing great. They're scoring a lot of points. High-scoring game. I think the Niners win at home. And the Bears, so we'll go for the Packers maybe to steal the division away next week. And then week 18. Monday Night Football, Rams, Falcons. Give me the Rams. They're just obviously a much better team. Even though they're on the road, they're going to really want to win this game. Falcons at this point just probably want just season to end. They want a new head coach. They want a new GM. New staff entirely. They don't have their first round pick, and it might be in the top 10. Actually belongs to the Rams, which is hilarious. So by beating the Falcons, they'll get themselves a better draft pick, which is just utterly hilarious. I think the Rams will win that game. Let's recap Monday Night Raw to close this thing out. We started out with Asuka against Rhea Ripley. Rhea told Io, because Io's not medically cleared, to stay in the back. Of course, Kairi Sane accompanied Asuka. Io tried to get involved when Kairi Sane got involved. She ended up getting put on her back. Asuka steals win over Rhea Ripley. That's actually Asuka's first ever win against Rhea Ripley in 8 matches between those two. As that feud continues. Then we had Becky Lynch coming out. Cutting a promo how she was robbed by Max Dupree. Then Dupree came out, and Dupree cut the best promo of her career. She's getting a lot better at all phases of her game. And then Becky made Becky tap out to the ankle lock. And then we had Javon Evans against Rayo Americana, of course, accompanied by the Los Americanos. Javon Evans wins. Very good match. Javon Evans is very, very good. He's on NXT. Then we got Nikki Bella. Came out and cut a promo, asked why everyone was disrespecting her. I don't love what they're doing with Nikki Bella. There's no reason to have her in a world title scene at this point in her career. This is her swan song. There's no reason for that. Then we had Bayley against Roxanne Perez. Of course, Bayley accompanied by Lyra Valkyria. Roxanne Perez was accompanied by Liv Morgan. Bayley picks up the win. Of course, Roxanne Perez accidentally distracted the referee. That led to an argument backstage between the 3 ladies as that inner feud continues. And Gunther made more enemies. He cut a promo. Again, get large boost from the crowd. CM Punk came out. They came face to face. Same thing with Rey Mysterio. Same thing with AJ Styles once again backstage. And then the main event, CM Punk and Rey Mysterio against Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. Of course, he's hanging around the division now. Of course, Paul Heyman was out there. And Bronson and Theory pick up the win in a decent match as this story continues. Of course, Braun after the match speared the living heck out of CM Punk as that build continues as Punk will defend the world title against Braun Breaker on the first Raw of 2026 on January 5th. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you all have a nice Christmas and happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And until next time, so long. Have a great day.